Like
Yeah.
if Victor didn't already die or go back, he would have probably just went mid and kill him under his turret. And if he would die under his turret, it was your fault because you weren't in lane contesting
Yeah.
the golden. But you were lucky. You're just lucky so
I'm
far.
facing a
Yeah.
Mastery
Yeah.
7
I
Gnar,
was pretty
guys.
lucky.
Later, man.
Somebody help me.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Mr. E, it's
Trade.
not too bad. I think going in was fine, punishing when he didn't have his cooldowns, but you, as soon as you missed your E, you should have just like auto reset and then kite out. You autoed him a little bit too much and he ran you down.
Yeah.
And the wave is also in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, because it's pushing towards him, and he could freeze it.
It was just a misplay. UTP, you have to, that's right. Warding is fine.
Ooh. Alex.
Now you freeze,
Set up a
hopefully.
freezer.
Yes.
Ah,
But why are you pushing this right now?
Oh, I figured like he was going back, so
Yes,
I
but
just-
you could. But you could
freeze
just
right here and get
freeze
advantage
instead.
back.
You
Yeah.
had the freeze. You could maybe even force his TP. If he didn't TP, he would lose a lot of XP. Which
Yeah, you want to
in this
explain
position
exactly
wouldn't be
what
too bad.
benefits freezing is going to give him?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I
he
freeze
froze,
right
he would
there,
have lost
he would
something,
lose. Yeah, he would lose a wave at least when he got
Yes.
back, and the wave will be in front of my tower.
But
And then I
you're
can
playing
slow push it
Camille, your
towards-
wave clear shit. You won't even get the wave under his turret in time. So freezing would have definitely been the best option here.
Yeah.
And now you're in a shitty spot where you're in front of his tower, and you have to push the wave. And I think it will still go fine, but it's not ideal.
But he gets all the experience from the minions that you could have had.
Yeah.
Yours is an easy grave to dig, small one.
I like that you look for the play. Okay,
Good.
yeah,
Isles were once
pretty good.
paradise.
But now you gotta move back top. You do, that's fine. The only thing I don't like about this place because Victor wasn't there, but it's still fine. Valkos was so overextended. He didn't even respond to your roam. If he had better map awareness, or if Vi had better map awareness, this could have went wrong, but the attempt was really good and it ended up working out, so that's good.
I will say, like, just in general, I have a hard time, like, with my map awareness. Like, is there any tips to, like, try to, like, keep map awareness?
You can do map awareness drills pretty much. Like, you know, you set a timer on, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then it keeps, and then you look at your map, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can
You can
train
do that
yourself
one.
this way.
Or you can do it like every X amount of minions, you take a look at your map.
Yeah.
Also,
someone
maybe
told me, look at the mini map every time you auto a minion.
Every time you're not really doing something important, if you're just waiting for the last hit, you take the last hit and then you swap your camera around. Take a look at the minimap or use your FPs to look around.
Yeah, for me, it's like I
Just
lose map
practice.
awareness when I'm in lane and the enemy's with me in lane. That's when I lose map awareness. So it's
Glenda's
like,
gonna be here in 20.
Well, obviously, you have to focus on the important things.
Ooh, sorry, guys.
Your laning is still the focus,
Oh, good, man.
but that doesn't mean you definitely have enough opportunities to still look at the map. And the other thing is, you don't necessarily even have to look at the map so often. Right now, your TP is not up, your ult is not up, so you're not gonna look for plays anyways. And in the early game, tracking the jungler is actually pretty easy. If you know what kind of clear the jungler has, you can pretty much always predict where he is within the first like 2 clears, maybe even 3. Or you might spot him somewhere.
What's
So-
weird though is Vi's clears starts at red and Karthus's clear starts at blue, and both of them started bot side this game.
Yeah.
We actually have a spreadsheet for jungle clears on this server. You can look that one up.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta check that out.
it's an useful resources. Wait a second. Let's go.
Useful resources. Is that like at, all the way
No,
at the
is
bottom?
that even
Oh yeah.
here?
All right, guys. You guys have a good night.
Alright.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay, I see it.
find it.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay,
Wait,
so
is it?
I
The
would.
Polaris one, right?
Yes. Where is it? I can't find it.
It's at the very top.
I have no
Just
idea, I just
press
had
it
it
and then scroll all the way up.
in a tab.
Ah, yeah, useful resources. They moved it down. Alright. Yeah, you can look it up there. It's not. I mean, obviously, you don't, especially in low elo, it's not as predictable. But you knew Vi would start bot and then go top, and since she took the bot camps first, it means that they are respawning first. So usually the jungle will also on the second tier go bot again and then move up,
Mhm.
unless something interrupts their clear heavily.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I died in a while, and then that's I started like popping off. But then like during the game, I don't know how we lost the game, but probably poor macro.
I like the
We'll see.
rotation you pushed the wave to help you Kartus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Victor was doing there, but I guess if he stays top and doesn't want to go mid, then I guess you go mid.
Yeah, I
Kind of a weird
noticed.
rotation that she did. I don't like this. I
Yeah.
don't like this play.
I don't know. I was like, oh shoot, they're taking dragon. Let me try to
This-
stop that.
You just put the Herald down the mid. Why don't you just take the tower while they are on the Herald and you have so much gold? Why would you fight
I don't
here?
know.
And your team was not in position to respond either. That was really, really bad. You should have just taken the mid turret and reset, and your Victor died again because he's stupid. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, I was spamming him because I was like, why don't you help me? But
Okay.
I don't think he could have done anything either. Now that I think of it.
It's kind of just like a cross
Little
map
bit.
opportunity though.
Yes. Going top here is okay because Oliver is pushing. You need to stop him. I wanna see that one again. So you see him. You used your ult too early. If you would have waited a bit more, I think you could have killed him. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He had flash. He would probably still get off. But maybe you could have kept your ult. Like your layering was not optimal here. You should just E auto, then run at him with your movement speed. Move between auto attacks instead of ulting instantly.
Hmm.
Okay, I don't know if we saw him back in here, but you know he's gonna go back. So you push this.
He has TP. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you
doesn't
don't have
decide to
your
use
ult
it.
anymore for a roam. Inflating so much
No,
either.
use it there.
I would still stay and make sure he doesn't freeze, but then I would also try to roam. You could take ground here, it's fine.
You know, that's interesting because I have a cousin. He plays with me and he plays jungle. And sometimes I'll take his camps and be like, stop taking my camps. You're messing up my clear. So it's like, when do I take camps?
Basically, if your jungler is not there to take them or isn't gonna be there in time, and you have the time for it, Volibear was pushing into you, you could have taken the ground.
Yeah, right. So I'll do that, but he'll start yelling at me. So how do I tell him that it's Cause I tell him that by the time he gets to it, it's gonna respawn or something like that. And-
No,
Sometimes you can't
it
tell.
won't respawn in time, but
Journey is long.
What's the
go
reason?
on. If he dies all the time and there's not much. I mean, in this situation, Karthus could take the blue, but he would need to be mid. He has a spot side jungle as well. I wouldn't it wouldn't be that hurtful for him to take the ground here, even though he was probably going to have towards it. He was a bit slow, so your opponents could have actually taken it if you didn't. That's another thing. And he needs to be on the map. He doesn't have that much time to farm because he died and everyone is on the map. He just take his farm fast, take his blue buff maybe, and then go somewhere else. He has enough camps up already.
Okay.
I think in this, yeah, it's kind of something you have to learn with experience. When you can do it and when you don't have the opportunity to do so. Because obviously you don't want to tilt your jungle into oblivion.
Yeah.
We're in kind of a bad spot.
Yeah.
Here's
Kinda.
old, so it's really scary. You could probably die here. Nice, I like that you pulled the wave. Keep him in lane.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I know a good bit of like those like small stuff, but in terms of macro play, I have trouble with that.
Do you know how to put a ward here from over the wall? You should learn
Yeah.
this ward trick.
With the one where it's like right next to the blast plant, and you put the ward on the top river bush.
You can stay around here and put a ward here. It works.
Your mouse isn't showing up.
The ruined king's allies
Um,
shall fall with
Oh,
him.
no. You can stay about. Well, I cannot ping. You see
Why
where my
those leaves, right?
Okay, that
Yes.
works.
you stay around here in the middle of my screen right now, and then you can put a ward into this brush.
Oh, I did not know you could do that.
You should
I-
learn this one as a top laner.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I can kind of do it, but I do it very consistently. You have like a guide or video or something that kind of demonstrates how to
Yeah,
consistently
I'll
do it?
probably look
I
it
can
up.
show after this game how to do it consistently. Let's keep going. There's so much going on, and both top laners are just staying in lane and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just kind
I
of
was thinking, I was thinking maybe I should go mid and help him out.
Yeah, you should. You chunked you out. You need to reset. So now you can. You have to give up the lane and
Yeah,
start
I
roaming.
realized. I was like, yeah, he has all mid lanes getting pushed. I need to do something.
This is actually pretty good for you. He's just getting the tier 1 and you could have maybe made a play with your team. Unfortunately, nothing happened. You got nothing out of your roam. So you go back to side lane, which is fine.
There
It
goes
would
that
have
rock.
been nice if you could have roamed bot, but your Xayah was going bot and your whole team was bot. Nobody was responding to top lane, so you have to go there. It
Yeah.
was a misplay by your team, but you responded to it correctly. Need to hard push the wave. Right. You didn't have a warding trinket. If you had a warding trinket, I would have tried to ward Herald, maybe. Well, no, it's already too late for Herald. It's okay. Reset.
Yeah.
You should. I think you should have went bot lane and told your team that you're going bot, because Dragon is gone. You have the P up, and Baron is up. So
Yeah.
you wanna be on the opposite side of the objective, and also They were currently there. You could have maybe looked for
Like a
for a
team,
pick on them,
yeah.
see if something is going on. They're actually pretty overextended, but you need to communicate it to your team too. You need to assume even before you're resetting here, you should already know that you went bot lane and you should ping on the way to bottom and maybe assisting the Xayah that she is, or assisting your team that they are defending the top lane. So you
Yeah.
just tell them you go bot, you have to key. And hopefully they will respond to it. Otherwise it's not that great. Oh. Second word is better against Volibear in my opinion. You should push this wave, you know Volibear is there, but you should at least try to push it as long as you don't see where he is. Because right now your team is getting shit on and you're doing nothing while your ult and your DP, everything you have is up and you're doing nothing. So you need to try to at least try. I'm not sure if it works, but Volibear can't catch you, you can always run away. At least try to push the wave out and make a play here. But honestly, this game looks like... I'm actually surprised that you even got such a good score at the end. This game looked terrible.
I think I made.
And that TP was really...
Yeah. Yeah, I got really lucky there.
What?
I feel like for the whole game you
Did he drink
have
some?
made good plays too, but for pretty much the whole game you have been lucky. Aside from having shit teammates.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think you can go for Baron, so it's okay. You should push one more, definitely. And now you don't have TP up. The inhibs are gone, somebody needs to be in the side lane, in bot lane, and...
What?
But you won't have TP, well, this is not ideal. You would rather have your TP for a flank, for the side lane. Well, honestly, that game is so doomed. Your team is behind, almost your whole base is open. Even if you played it 100% correctly, I'm not sure if you could have won this game. I think you could have, but only if you're like really good at the game in general. If you were like a master player, maybe you could have won that game. So there are just so many things that went wrong in the early laning phase, which made you lose all the agency, all the tempo. So we will never find out if you could have actually carried this game. Yeah, I would try to go for Drake. Katos is going for the Drake. Fine. I think it's pretty pointless. Yeah, they just... You take Drake and next team fight you lose and the game is over.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure. Okay, you kill him, great. Reset. You die, okay. You should have pinged your team a little bit more to not fight. But at this point it didn't really matter. You already lost the game.
Yeah.
So your mistakes were pretty much... Your back timings in lane were not good. You didn't punish Volibear enough. You should have been... if you would have played that correctly, you could have been ahead and maybe make plays elsewhere on the map and potentially not lose the game.
Yeah.
But I like to see that you're trying to fight him, you're trying to make roams. Yeah, that's great. Your wave management and overall farming needs to be a little bit better, like see when you have opportunities to get some jungle camps and to freeze the lane, stuff like that. And yeah, you gotta think when you go into the game and you look at the setups of you and the enemy. You have to think about how the matchup will go. What do you need in this lane? Do I need second wind or bone plating this lane? Uh, do I go for biscuits and boots or biscuits and time warp tonic and corruption potion? You need to already think these things through while you're in champ select before the game starts.
Yeah.
And then you would have also known that you don't start with W in this situation. Right? You lost so much agency for no reason because you're just autopiloting and not really thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna show you the war trick real quick, and that's about it.
Appreciate it.
If they could see what
No
I see,
problem.
they'd long for death.
Do you have any tips for like learning specific matchups? Because when I started learning top lane, I
Watch
felt
the
like
one tricks, watch the high the one tricks.
okay, that's kind of what I've been doing, but I just felt like it was
Flesh torn.
there's like so many top laners that you kind of have to learn the matchup for. Is that correct or?
The game in general is obviously pretty heavy on matchups, but top lane is infamous for being the most matchup heavy lane.
Yeah, I come from support where it was like three general rules. There's all in, poke, and sustain, and they are like rock paper scissors. If you get poked out as an all in lane, you've lost.
Yeah, you can kind of put champions into these kinds of categories. If you are, for example, Camille is short trade, so basically poke, or range
Souls are a small
champions are also more poke heavy, obviously. Tryndamere, he has good sustain, he has kind of good all in as well. There are tanky champions which have good sustain. Yeah, you can kind of put everyone into this kind of category, and you also need to know what abilities do they take in the early levels and how does it affect the matchup. Level 1, level 2, level 3.
So if they're both all in champions, then like a Riven versus Aurelion, then it's really just down to skill. Is that correct?
Then it's more matchup dependent. I would say Riven has a better level 1, and that's why Aurelia shouldn't really try to contest the level 2.
I know that.
That's just
How do you know?
in this
I-
case, that's how it works. But if it was, for example,
worse than this.
Riven against Volibear, honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you who wins level 1. Maybe Volibear because he's very strong level 1, but I think both have a decent chance of winning the fight for level 2. And in
What?
low elos, you cannot expect the people to play the matchup correctly. Like, this Volibear was playing way too passive
Dead much
in
longer.
the early game.
So you said you'd expect Riven to win level 1 versus Aurelia. Can I
I
ask how
think
you
so.
know that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm
That
pretty
is
sure
that
because
is how the
Aurelia's
matchup
level 1
plays.
is not that strong. She needs her passive stacks, and her Q doesn't really do much without her other abilities.
Okay, so is that generally just every champion specific? Because like
Kind
Okay.
of. There are certain concepts, for example, if you are a strong level 1 champion, for example, if I play Tryndamere against Camille, I know I can bait out her bone plating and her passive, and then go for a long trade on her, and I will win. But if I don't do this, if I don't get the extended trade on her, I know she can poke me down with her Q and passive, and I will lose to level 1. So in that case, it's really skill dependent.
So how would you play against Tryndamere as a Camille? Because I sort of kind of struggle with that.
Ooh, yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I wouldn't say it's a bad matchup for Camille, not at all. But if That's the thing, if Tryndamere plays correctly, I think he wins the level 1 actually, and you can say, yeah, okay, he wins level 1, I play like a pussy now and I don't even touch the wave, I will let him push into me. You can do that in high elo, that's
Yeah,
what you can
cause
do,
I
but,
do that. I do that most of the times for like Tryndamere. Who else? I do
but,
that for
in lower elos you don't expect people to play that great, so I want you to pretty almost always fight for level 2. And just stick with your trading pattern. You know, Tryndamere wants to run you down, don't let him run you down. If he keeps auto-attacking you, if he still has his E up, then back off. Just use your spells really quick. Your level 1 is extremely strong as Camille, you short trade. Use that and then back off and wait until you get your cooldowns back. Don't let him get the all in. And try to stay ahead on the push if possible. If he doesn't let you, okay, back off. But at least try.
yeah.
It comes
Okay.
down to skill. Okay, the ward trick. Finally. Oh, what the fuck is this line? Do you see that line here?
Yeah, I've noticed that like
Oh my
a few
god.
months ago that like popped up. I never know. Like I don't know why that's there.
Now I'm not gonna be able
All
to
over the
unsee
map.
it.
It's all over the map.
It's this ward, it depends on what angle you're coming from. But if you're
No.
standing around here and you see here the line of the wall,
Yeah.
and here's this crack. You click on the crack and you stand about here. Click here.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. Here you can see the crack in the wall, and
Yeah.
below that there is this tip of the tree. You need to have your camera centered on you and click the tip of the tree. Pretty much always works.
Ping where you pressed it.
Okay, so I'm standing around here or maybe here. I go here
Uh-huh.
and I'm in this position. I have my camera zoomed out and centered on me. I hold spacebar and I click here.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty
Wait, how
neat.
do you have a timer auto reset for your ward? Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Infinite
can you
cooldown.
say that again, please? Wait.
I answered my own question. Thanks for so much for all the tips.
Oh.
Death is not always a release.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. We have a video about warding and lots of good YouTube videos about ward tricks. Like one of my favorite wards that you have to know if you're a Blitzcrank player is this one. Right?
Remember my name, for one day.
What the heck?
Yeah, there are some really insane warding tricks.
Wait,
If
so
you're
you
Blitzcrank, you
just
can actually hook people if they walk through here.
that's crazy. I never knew that. Wait, go back. Where do you stand?
Um, so I stand around here and I click about here, like you see those trios, and here's like this little, I don't know
Yeah, that
what you
line
call
right
it,
there.
edge of the wall, this point.
Yeah.
And then there are two ways to do it. You can normal cast your ward, and when it turns red, I think it goes into the bush. When your cursor turns red, it goes into the bush. Or what I do, I look at this little thing. Like it's the biggest bubble on the floor, and if you hold your mouse there, what works.
I feel like okay, so I have my 4, it's not on quick cast, it's on regular. So I can see like the thing.
You should have quick cast by default on every single ability, and also use shift and for normal cast. You should have quick
Okay.
cast and normal cast for pretty much everything, for every ability and warding trinkets.
Okay.
All things
and maybe even control wards. You can set that up to, I think. Depending on your champions, there are some champions where there are exceptions, like maybe a Nivea wall and Rumble ult, where you want to have a different setting. But
Yeah,
you pretty much have
that's
both
the word top
available. I think Neath has a settings guide, so you can look that up.
Cool.
Used to mean some
Appreciate that.
I must dig. Even Yorick needs respite. We shall prevail. We have eternity. Won't you join them? I do not live in hope. I work to return it.
What the fuck?
Material items for the material. Tell me of the beyond.
Damn, this is a crazy
Peace I
document.
never make it.
Thank you for all the tips. I'm gonna head out for the night. Night, everybody.
Yeah. Playing a few normal games just to get back in practice. Well, I'm saying this since a long time, but lately I really haven't played League that seriously, and before I want to hop on into ranked games, I want to practice some more.
You wanna play together?
What Elo are you? Are you on EOS too?
Oh no, I'm not in US. Dang.
Yeah, I'm EOS. And for the practice, I also only want to play with high Elo people, so
Gotcha.
the games have kind of been a bit too easy for me, normal games.
Yeah.
Because obviously there aren't many master players who play normal games.
Yeah.
for fun.
I play a lot of draft pick. That's all I do. I don't like playing blind pick.
Fine.
How long have you been playing League?
I've played since the end of season 7.
Okay. So and you just been playing constantly up until now.
Well, during my first season, I was like, I want to at least not be bronze, so I went up to silver. The season after, I went to gold because I wanted a skin, and I was like, okay, let's get to high elo. Let's go to diamond, and I had like 2 seasons going to diamond. Last seasons I couldn't really play much because I had no internet at the end of the season. I think I was in diamond, but I decayed to platinum.
Yeah.
And this season I'm taking ranked more seriously. I want to go up to, well, my goal is honestly going to Grandmaster or even Challenger, but Grandmaster is already pretty hard, but I think I can do it, especially after the boot camp. I
Okay.
think I have a chance. It's
That's good.
getting to Master was already really hard.
Act on their own.
That's crazy.
So I went from like low diamonds to high diamond at first. I was stuck in diamond 1 for like 400 games.
Hmm.
And then I got to master. It just clicked and I got to master. And now I feel like diamond games are rather easy for me. Master games are more exciting.
What like? Could you tell me like how people play in Diamond and how they struggle in there? Since you, I mean, you say that Diamond's like easier.
A
So
lot easier actually.
what do you
Like
think they
low
struggle?
diamond is not even like comparable to high elo to master. Like what the fuck are these guys doing? They're just here for fun. That's what it feels like for me. They make so many mistakes, but even in Diamond 1, well, you have people who know how to play the game, but maybe they don't do it consistently enough. Maybe they have like the first 3 games of the day they play like a master player and then they win a lot. And afterwards they lose focus and they play like shit and lose again.
Yeah,
Because I feel like there are a lot of diamond players who actually know how to play the game, but they just don't do it consistently.
One can
So that's a big
stare into the
factor.
grave.
But if you want to go to masters, you have to know pretty much all the basics of your lane and the other lanes, plus some advanced knowledge maybe for your lane, for your champion.
yeah,
And you pretty much you master the basics and then you try to refine everything and and then you can maybe get to grandmaster or challenger if you're really good.
so for what would you consider basics? Like to start off with, like what would you play in that category? Basics.
Basics definitely um, wave management, jungle pathing, roaming. Mm, you don't know. You don't need to necessarily know every detail about every single matchup, but eventually you will get there. It also depends on what champion pool you have
Yeah,
and what role you play. Oh, what else is basic? Split pushing. If you're well, you should know split pushing in general.
yeah.
To be honest, split pushing and team fighting or objective control. Those are the basics, I would say.
Okay.
And
Yes.
of course the basics about laning, like when do I trade, how do I abuse my opponent when he wastes a cooldown, stuff like that. Those are the basics.
Hmm.
Warding too.
Don't worry about wording, man. I'm Grandmaster and I can't word still.
Yeah, what I was about to say. Not to, no, no, champion. I didn't want to ban Jax. But
Yeah.
well, there are some wards you should know, because why not? You don't necessarily even need to master everything. It's good enough if you have the basics and then just expand your knowledge and be a little bit good at everything instead of mastering some things and don't have any knowledge about everything else.
Yeah.
Like all your knowledge comes together and makes you a good player. Also, I think mechanics are underrated. Like really, people say you can get to high elo with only macro, which is true. But if you want to go to very high elo, then depending on what you play, in many cases mechanics do matter quite a lot.
How high do you think someone could go with just macro?
It really depends on the champion, but I'm pretty sure everyone can get to
Like at
master
least,
with really good macro, even if
oh,
their
masters.
mechanics are just well, if their mechanical level is around the silver player. or a Go
Yeah.
player. There are actually some good Go players, to be honest, in terms of mechanics.
Yeah.
There was one Akali player in the bootcamp who was like gold 3, gold 4, and he was playing Akali the exact same way people play her in GM.
Fuck.
They just be watching those guides, Akali guides.
That
I
guy
do the
was
same
pretty
thing with
insane.
I do the
He
same
was on
thing
my
with
team.
Camille.
Honestly, seeing the difference between my Tryndamere and the high elo Tryndameres, I'm pretty shit compared to them, but not too shit. I'm up there, to be honest. It's not too different. It's comparable, but I'm not really good at Tryndamere if I compare myself to the best.
I'm guessing that's your main.
Yeah, Tryndamere is my main.
Is there anyone else you play secondary?
Currently not really, but I like Set a lot. And some of the tankier champions like Sugar, where you can just sit back, farm, scale up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Sed's another secondary champion I play.